All right, welcome to Hannity. Tonight, Dr. Fauci confronted on Capitol Hill with the truth as he was grilled today by Senator Rand Paul. He will join us with a recap. Also tonight, Wisconsin Senate candidate Mandela Barnes was caught on camera trashing capitalism. This after he called for violent criminals to be released from prison. We're going to play that tape and vet him tonight. But first, the countdown continues. We are only 55 short days away from these pivotal midterm elections, and Democrats have lost all touch with reality. Now, yesterday, we showed you the new devastating economic numbers. Inflation went up, core inflation went up, food, rent, energy, all way up. The stock market, meanwhile, plummeted. It tanked. It dropped significantly, the biggest drop since the height of the pandemic. Now, this but 1 month after the Democrats passed their so-called Inflation Reduction Act, or as I call it, the Tax the Poor, Middle Class, and People on Fixed Income Act of 2022. It doesn't actually do anything to reduce inflation. It will increase inflation. It is just a massive Green New Deal spending bill that, as predicted, is making inflation far worse, making everything more expensive than ever. And now, by the way, to add insult to injury, Biden's incompetent transportation secretary, small-town mayor, there's Mayor Pete right there, has been unable to hammer out a deal with America's railroad unions. So now, in the wake of a looming strike, many train lines are getting shut down, and our supply chain problems are about to get that much worse. Even certain Amtrak routes have already been put on pause indefinitely. Joe, Amtrak Joe, do you care to comment? So naturally, none of this stopped the White House from throwing a massive celebration, complete with the smiling and the fist bumps and the laughing and the patting on the back with Nancy Pelosi. They even had a live performance from James Taylor. He serenaded the crowd with Fire and Rain. It's a great song about drug addiction and suicide. Perhaps maybe appropriate in this sense, given Biden's fentanyl and opioid crisis because of his open borders policies. Now, a celebration, patting themselves on the back on the day that inflation numbers rose yet again from the previous month. Can you really be that oblivious and that out of touch with the American people? Because Americans are suffering. Now, the president even treated his guests to a rage-filled celebratory speech, complete with weird, bizarre anger, yelling about how Joe Biden himself rescued America's economy and fixed inflation. What world is he living in?
I don't want to be a party crasher, but...
And by the way, this all the news networks featured live side-by-side footage. Look at that. They were showing the stock market crashing. Even fake news, CNN, MSDNC, they seemed absolutely shocked that Joe Biden was spiking the football at the very moment Americans' retirement funds were being wiped out in real time. Joe's bizarre celebration didn't stop there. Today, he visited the Detroit Auto Show, as Tucker just showed you, the Z06. That's a great-looking Corvette. Now, just 3 weeks after Ford announced they were laying off 3,000 employees to cut costs and pay for the Biden administration's electric vehicle transition. Of course, that didn't stop Joe Biden from having a little fun as he got behind the wheel of car after car after car and then bizarrely held hands with the Michigan governor, Gretchen Whitmer. But later, after a brief set of remarks, Joe faced a serious challenge. He couldn't seem to remember how to get down from the podium. It's like when he shakes air so often. Pretty common problem for Joe. Take a look.
Thank you.
Sorry. It appears Joe Biden has some serious issues with short-term memory. His vice president, meanwhile, just has simple trouble with something called the truth. You decide.
Every year, gas-powered cars and trucks and buses contribute millions of tons of carbon dioxide and toxic air pollution. But there is a solution to this problem: electric vehicles. Electric cars and trucks and buses, which produce no tailpipe emissions. And they are cheaper to own.
They are not cheaper to own. That would be called, where I grew up, a flat-out lie. The average cost of an electric vehicle is $22,000 more than a gas-powered car, not to mention the additional energy costs to charge the vehicle. And, of course, you have to pillage Mother Earth with big, heavy equipment that's run on diesel fuel, mining for these rare minerals and pillaging them out of the earth. Never mind the fossil fuels that you'll actually need to plug in the car, because that represents 90% of our current electric grid. And even with the high price of gas, it would take at least a decade plus to maybe even break even. So Kamala's just flat out lying, or just hasn't bothered to do simple math. So for the 2/3 of Americans, those of you out there that are suffering, living paycheck to paycheck, I've been there. It sucks. It's not fun. Electric vehicles are not a solution to any of your problems. But fear not, the Biden administration, they have another solution. If you are one of the many U.S. soldiers, in other words, the real heroes in this country, and you're struggling to put food on the table and make ends meet, the administration is now publicly encouraging and advising our brave military, the people that preserve our freedoms, to apply for food stamps. What a repulsive national embarrassment. Think about this. We're now sending over $50 billion to Ukraine, but our soldiers aren't making enough here at home to buy enough food to feed their family? This is beyond appalling. Biden just spent, what, trillions on inefficient solar panels and wind turbines. We're decades away from this alternative energy or renewable energy independence, as Pete Buttigieg wants and Jennifer Granholm wants. And they want to spend trillions more to bail out social justice majors in college who willingly took out massive student loans. They did it willingly. They signed their name to the loan. And meanwhile, American armed service men and women, they're left to hang out to dry, go get food stamps. How about you take the student loan forgiveness money, make the people that borrowed it pay it back, and pay the people that protect the freedom so these kids can even attend school and make sure they can afford to put food on their table. Of course, the Department of Defense did find room in their budget to hire a chief diversity, equity, and inclusion officer, or as she refers to herself, a woke administrator. And according to a recent FoxNews.com report, the DOD's woke administrator openly disparaged white people online because of their race. Since the report, much of her social media has been deleted. And Fox News Digital did not immediately hear a response from the Department of Defense. They are waiting breathlessly. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.